Up podcast. I am going to make a very conscious effort this podcast to hold the microphone closer to my mouth. It seems maybe there were some sound quality issues in the last episode. I apologize. It all looks great on screen when it's recording, and then you go to process it and it just falls in the toilet. I don't know. Anyway, apologies. I hope you all had a fantastic long weekend, those that were in New Zealand. We had a public holiday on Friday. It was weird. I don't know if I like public holidays on a Monday or a Friday, but it was deserved. Don't get me wrong. Loved it. The other thing is we don't have another holiday until October, so that's kind of a bit ugh. I don't know why we go so long without them. It's like there should just be another reason just to have a day off, but it's fine. I've got a trip booked in September. So I remember this time last year I was actually kind of somewhat sick, and so this is coming up to a year ago when my cousins got married and I was in Australia and I was really sick and I did that podcast with a blocked nose. The things you learn. And basically I didn't take any sick leave. I just pushed through, and then it made the whole situation 10 times worse, and the cold just did not go away. It was awful. I am a fit bill of health. I would probably make that comment. Yes, I would agree. I feel great. I feel fine. So look, roll on the next couple of weeks / months until my little leave to one of the islands. Anyway, I have a friend arriving today. It is Monday. I am recording this on a Monday just because he is here this afternoon right through to next Monday. So in order to, maybe not make a weird situation and record a podcast in front of him, I thought I'd do this before I pick him up from the airport. Weird friend conversation about how we became friends. I'll fill you in. It was actually a mutual friend that listens to the podcast. She came to New Zealand and brought some friends, and then I just managed to make friends with him. I don't know, it was weird. So they were here for I couldn't even tell you, maybe 10 days traveling around New Zealand in this camper van. They managed to come visit me in Cromwell. I took them to a bar. We had this really cute little hut thingy which is inside the main bar here at the Five Stags in Cromwell, and we just kind of had a couple of drinks and got to know each other. It was really kind of chill. And then lo and behold, I probably spent less than 12 hours with this guy collectively across a couple of days. He was just basically saying, you're such a cool person. I just can't believe that, I didn't get to spend more time with you. It was just a really great interaction. And then, I don't know, we've just been friends for about a year on and off, talking and stuff. He's quite busy. He has a farm. He has a partner. I think he's been with his partner for 15 years or something like that. It's a really crazy tenure of time. So, he just basically said to me the other day, I've had enough. I want to come visit you. I need some joy in my life. I'm going to leave the animals to the partner and just come and spend a week. And I was like, what? So yeah, and it's fun because Mum's just how are you planning for this when you don't even know anything about what they like? I don't know if he drinks. I know he likes beer, and I know he enjoys karaoke and a couple of cheeky vodkas and stuff. So he's really cool, but I can't prepare for this. I don't know. And to make it a little bit worse, being Monday the 13th of July, it's actually his birthday. So he's landing in Queenstown on his birthday, and I'm very excited to be taking him to a restaurant in Queenstown, which is very well known, the Lone Star. So I love Lone Star. It's this wholesome food that you can't fault. And I actually managed to get it on First Table, which, if you are not familiar with it, First Table is a really awesome website. You basically pay between $5, $10, maybe $12 for a booking. I think I'm gold status, so I get them for cheap, or I don't know. I think I get some weird inclusions. I don't know. And then you are the first table for that time slot, which means your meal for the table doesn't even matter how many people are on the table. You've physically got to tell them though. So for us, it's 3, me, my mum and him. And you get the whole lot half price food. It's not half price alcohol, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm excited because it is really great food, good humongous portions. It's just a different style of restaurant. I mean, it's not a cuisine as such. It's more, you've got your ribs, your fish, your burgers. I barely even looked at the menu, to be fair. Never do. Just turn up, just shut my eyes and point. So yeah, going there tonight with my mum, which I'm very excited to have dinner with as well. And he's already asked me what I want in duty free. So I'm telling you now, this is the type of friendship you want, right? let's get into the fact that there's another side to this where it's actually hit the flip recently. So obviously I was telling you guys I was going to see Jason Momoa on Saturday, and I was very excited. It was like going to be a whole experience, one that I have waited for a very long time. On Friday, I got a message from a friend of the person who slashed my tires. And when I tell you my heart fell into my ass, it took me maybe 2 hours to even open and read the message. I just... sometimes I just can't even believe some people think that they can function like this. It was the most vile message I've ever seen. It was not really directed at me as such in a harmful kind of way. It just basically said, just to let you know, I had nothing to do with slashing your tires. And I was like, you vile piece of shit. And so I didn't respond. I just basically walked away, did what I needed to do, and then something happened. It was Friday. Oh, I had a bottle of red wine. That's right. Mum was here on the Thursday, and so she got some wines out of her trusty cellar, because obviously moving that to the new house. And she put some bottles on the table, and I was looking at one of them, and I thought, that's an expensive bottle of red, Mum. And she said, well, we don't know if this bloke likes red wine, but if you want, you can drink it with him. So anyway, I didn't want to go out Friday, so I decided to crack a bottle. And she gave me a couple, so I wasn't, she'd never ask about it because she doesn't know herself. So I had this bottle and the decanter. I did the whole thing, like the whole process of like aerating the red and just enjoying it. I even poured it into one of my massive red wine balloon glasses that, I don't know if the glass aerates the wine, I don't know, but it was delicious. Anyway, I was fine. I felt like I was fine. And then a few of my friends were out and about and they were messaging, do you want to come out, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I fucking hate Fridays. My head goes in the toilet. Mental health goes down the drain. It's just like, I feel like I'm fine until I'm really not. And it's like Friday's the trigger for me because I feel vulnerable, like I can't leave my house. It's an awful process. And probably drinking's not contributing to this very well. But it's horrible. Anyway, Saturday, I woke up and I knew that I wanted to go and do something for myself to make myself feel better. And I woke up to this message from that same person that messaged on the Friday. And basically, I kid you not, it said, no response, ... all good, take care. And then they deleted me off everything. And I was just sitting there like, you know what? If you can do that and you can just say stupid things like as surface level as that is, then I really was never a friend. Never. Because friends fight for friendships. If you know that that person's toxic to you or whatever, have that discussion. Don't just blanket it, And to me, it's like this is just the Band-Aid of the situation that they wanted to remove me. So they were kind of looking for how I was going, but like not. It was just something so stupid. And so I don't know, it sent me on a bit of a spiral because I was like kind of on the fence, like, do I actually reach out and say, hey, look, do you want to just like come round and just have a chat about whatever, but then I was like, no, like I just don't even need to even entertain this. It's not like I'm the victim here. There's absolutely no way that this is going to be something that I fix. And to be quite fair, I am a Taurus. We've talked about this. I'm very stubborn. I don't need this shit in my life. And quite frankly, if you're an acquaintance of the person that did this to me, and you know that they did it, and you basically are covering your tracks by saying, just so you know, it wasn't me, I had nothing to do with it. Ooh, fucking ooh, red flag, absolutely not. So I decided to jump in my car, and it took a long time. I was like, I was on the fence about leaving the house even on a Saturday. This is how much it just like corrupts my brain. But I put one foot in front of the other, much like I did in Thailand. And I was just like, you've got to go. You've just got to go. Go and see your mum. Go and have some lunch. Go and have some retail therapy. Do some things that make you happy. So I was on a mission. I knew in my brain I wanted to get some new boots. Boots are a bit of bone of contention. I am 6'3". I have a fair length to my legs. And you can't just buy boots online. So I had made this big plan. These are the boots I've seen online. These are the places I'm going to visit. I actually was thinking I'm going to start with some of the more cheaper places just to see what their idea of boots are. Winter's kind of a weird thing, like boots are trends or whatever, but I kind of just wanted some black boots. I went in with a bit of a clear mind. I don't know if it was me or it's the place that I live in or whatever, but it just happened that there were some boots that were on display. They were the end of the sizing. There was nothing left. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't even believe it. I got 3 pairs of boots. These were $90 boots. So 3 different pairs. One was knee-high, 2 were ankle for $10 each. Reduced from $90 to $10. So I go to my mum's house and I'm like, I don't know what just happened there, but like I didn't go with the intention of buying this many pairs, but it just happened that way. And Mum was like, as long as I don't fall to shit, Danny. But I said, I don't think they can if they're like $90 boots. I mean, that's still more than like a $20 pair of cheap boots from Kmart. So it was the most weirdest. I felt so good. I had this massive smile on my face. I was like, I got some boots. I'm feeling good. I consciously made an effort on the weekend to dress like my Venus sign. I was wearing this little black dress with pantyhose, like tights, and then I put on my knee-high boots, and I was just like gallivanting around Queenstown. Like, it made me feel good. But you know what? People in Queenstown tend to dress like they're going to the snow. I mean, they're everywhere. People in like big puffer jackets, big scarves, jeans, boots. So here's me pouncing around in this little dress. Oh, it must have looked so silly. But anyway, I was actually just driving past the Woolworths and this cluster of females. They were all blonde. They all had the cream jacket. They all had jeans. And I was like, oh my God, it looked like a pack of sheep. And I was just thinking, they're like, what? But you could tell they were just Aussies visiting and they just all obviously had gone to somewhere that had, you know, ski attire on sale or whatever. It just makes me laugh. I feel so like what is going on? So anyway, when I was at my mum's house, I became quite aware to the fact that there was multiple things on Saturday night, one of which was night skiing at Coronet Peak. You had Mardi Gras, which was happening in Frankton. Jason Momoa was playing at Altitude Brewery just down the road in Frankton. And there was a circus on. So the traffic and congestion was insane. And I don't know, I just had this like real... Like, I was always going to go to Jason Momoa on my own. And I was kind of just like, I don't really give a fuck anymore. Like, you know, when something happens in life and you're just like, what will be, will be. Everything happens for a reason. That's kind of where I was with it. I was just thinking, yeah, the messages that I had received from the friend of the person that slashed my tires was in my mind a little bit. It was more like, oh my gosh, how can someone think this way? It's kind of gross. And then I had this really lovely experience shopping for boots, got them, tick off the list. And also, I was on some missions that day, so some serious side quests were happening. I went to get some Hong Kong shopping bags to pack my wardrobe. And honestly, looking at the size of these stupid plastic Hong Kong shopping bags, I was like, there's no way. I mean, I'm a girl that loves to shop, so I was like, seriously, there's got to be a bigger bag. And so this lady at Bunnings, she told me to use a garden tidy sack. I mean, I reckon easily if I was to pack my car with these garden tidy sacks full of my wardrobe, it would easily be at least 5 trips from Cromwell to Queenstown. So again, still not the best idea. But I don't know if you guys remember way back. It's one of those things I sort of touched on. You guys know, like late last year, I think maybe it was even this episode, I was going to pop over to Australia on the way back from Asia just to pick up some knickers. Remember I was telling everyone that my knickers went end of line? So anyway, I used ChatGPT last week. I will admit it. I'm fine with it. It's fine. I used ChatGPT to find alternate knickers because the ones that I had on rotation have gone end of line. Didn't go to Australia to get replacements because I think that they're still available in Aussie. But anyway, I got my brother's tape measure out from his tool belt and took photos of the waist and the crutch, uploaded it to ChatGPT, and it spat out alternate knicker ideas. And guess what? The same place I got my boots, I managed to get some knickers, and I'm wearing them right now, and I'm just the happiest person. I have new jocks, a new supplier. I'm so thrilled because it was fucking scary there for a minute, guys. These knickers went all through Asia. The elastic had gone. It was embarrassing. I was like, when I gave my knickers to the lady in Bali to wash, I was like, oh my God, do I give her a disclaimer that says that I do have nice ones in New Zealand? But anyway, yeah, look, honestly, ChatGPT for the win. But don't ask me to measure anything else because I have had so many Temu purchase fails because I can't measure to save my life. Or I also can't crack an egg, but let's not get into that. So when I was like driving back to Cromwell, I was really kind of happy. I had my boots, I had my knickers. I talked about ways to get my wardrobe packed. It was like this whole big side quest of different things that it just kind of made me feel, I don't know, kind of happy. It's like a bit of retail therapy, a bit of a discussion, a bit of fresh air, a bit of being outside the heaviness of the bubble of Cromwell. And I was a different person. So yeah, look, my brain wasn't in it to go and see Jason. I don't know. It's just one of those things that right now I don't live in a situation where I can just relax and enjoy the atmosphere. And I think that subconsciously I'd be standing there drinking a beer, just panicking. And it wasn't meant to be. And that's fine. When I do meet him and whatever, it'll be fine. But it's not right now. So yeah, it's sad. So like everyone's just going to like start going on strike for when Danny's going to meet Jason. But whatever, it's fine. What have I been looking at lately? Well, my Koh Samui hotel recommendation friend / brother from another mother, he is crazy. I don't doubt this guy in the slightest. I haven't really been sleeping lately, like pretty light sleep, so the dreams have been a bit crazy, but I dreamt that me and him went to Hainan or Haikou, which is where I flew on the way to Bangkok. So it's in China. He planted this seed of curiosity a couple of weeks ago that the part of China that I went to was potentially the Hawaii of China. So I woke up Sunday and actually sent an alert for some cheap flights. And honestly, if it comes up being like $300 one way just to go go there for a few days and suss it out, I honestly would. And I told him this. I was like, I'm not even opposed to it. Like, let's just throw caution to the wind. Who cares? So yeah, I don't know if you guys realize this, but I actually saw an alert as to how to do it. But you know when you like put in a major airport, whether it's Auckland, Christchurch, Wellington, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, whatever, and you know how it kind of gets a little bit frustrating because I don't know if it's like the actual way the analytics of the website works or whatever, but I don't really care where I go. I know that sounds really shit, but it's like I don't care where I fly to, I don't care where I go. So I kind of came across this information that said basically if you can put in like a major city centre like Christchurch, Auckland, whatever, you can actually just leave where to go blank, and then you can just write like, you know, a week in 6 months time, go to somewhere that's on sale, and Google spits out places that are on sale. And so I was playing with it. And I set some alerts up and stuff just because, like, I don't really ever have a plan. But the fact is, like, if something was to come up that was super cheap, fuck, I'm going. So, yeah, I was doing that on Sunday, just kind of joking around about a few things. But also, I'm trying to find a hobby to get into, something I'm good at that's creative. And I did manage to leave the house on Friday and go to the market, which is a big deal for me. I don't really understand markets. Like, it's like people standing there with these weird creative things they've done in the freezing cold. Like, I get it, but I don't. Anyway, I saw this chick, she upcycles clothing. And I was just like, how did you even get into that? Like, how does your brain go, oh, that, you know, doily could turn into a dress or whatever? And so I started thinking about some of my wardrobe. And obviously, now that I'm sort of starting to pack it, it's kind of a lot. I'm like, oh my God, how do I collect this much clothing? But I look at it as though some of these things, they don't fit anymore. So can I change them in some ways? I'm always buying things that don't fit properly and things just sit there, but I do want to be creative. So I made a bit of a plan, and starting with the denim jacket that I have found some Western trim, like some beaded like trim stuff. And I'm going to get really like creative and sew it on. And it's exciting because I've actually been looking at this stupid jacket that's well over $50. But I'm like, no, I have the jacket. I'm going to change it up. And so that's my plan this week while my friend's here. Maybe he's creative. I don't know. So Mum's already offered to help and show me how to do these things. Like, she is the home economics queen. But I had to hit the anchors on her because I really want to do this. I really want to just like, I don't know, be good at something that's not just communication, talking, or that kind of shit. Like, I want to do something creative. I can't crochet to save my life. Like, I can't knit, I can't crochet, I can't do anything like that. I kind of want to buy like one of those dress mannequins and just like pin material to it and just form an outfit, you know? I have a lot of like material, I have a lot of things that I could cut up and whatever, but it's seeing the vision of like turning it into something. Anyway, there was this really cool chick who's a workmate of my mum's. She was at the market and we were having a bit of a chat, and I was telling her about my Venus outfit ideas and how I was trying to be conscious about dressing differently. And she turned around and she had the audacity to say to me, but Danny, don't normal people wear things like knit and cashmere and, you know, like soft textiles and things? And I was thinking, that's not the point. The point is that, like, if you feel good in something and you actually are meant to be wearing these colors, these textures, whatever, it makes you feel good. And she's really proud of herself. Like, she's got the knack for it. But I don't know. I said to her, maybe in like 2 years' time, I'll have a stall at a market. I don't So anyway, Saturday night, I decided, because I just got back from Queenstown and I didn't really want to sit at home and be miserable about the fact I wasn't seeing my mower. I had a message from a friend who was at the local pub who was watching the rugby, and I thought, yeah, stuff it, I'll go down. So I went out for a beer. I felt somewhat human. So I was wearing my new boots. Didn't quite have my new knickers on, but we'll get to that. I actually met a lady whose husband died in a workplace accident in March, and she was saying how she was going to go on an adventure to Bali in September and how she'd never been. So I had given her some tips, and she just got back from Rarotonga, which is where I'm going in September. Or actually, I would be going to Bali with her. Oh my God, I feel like lately I've just been tacking myself on with people's ideas. Anyway, she was giving me some tips on Raro. So honestly, it swings in ways. But when she said to me that, you know, she had lost her husband, I just sat there like, I know someone that lost their husband in January and they are not coping. Like, the grief is just overwhelming. But she was just so different. I was like, I just wanted to say to her, how are you coping? But it's just one of those things, like, I think, well, in hindsight, she had 6 children. So maybe they're helping her get through it differently. I don't know. I really don't know. But I just said, like, kudos to her, you know. She's obviously, I mean, maybe she's grieving because she's just been on these adventures through the islands and now she's going to Bali and that's what she's doing. But it's like, far out. You're actually like getting out there to see the world. I'm super proud of her. But it was the weirdest interaction. I honestly, as soon as she said to me that she'd lost her husband, I was like, how are you here? How are you functioning? But I don't know. People do different things, I suppose. So many of you were actually curious about the bucket list before I turned 40 idea and why I was so excited. And honestly, it's just what I know about friends that are that age already. When you're in your 40s, it's about everything you've learned so far. You're just an adult with adult money that doesn't give a fuck. And I'm here for it. Like, your 20s and your 30s are there for like mistakes and learning and growing and everything else. The age-old saying is that females get older. As females get older, their sex drive increases and men slow down. I'm actually starting to believe this and lean into it a little bit. So I don't know, there's just a lot of experience and things before you get to your 40s, like travel, relationships, friendships, and what you just like don't need to put up with. I feel like when you're in your 40s, you don't give a fuck and you become more sexualized as a female. So I don't know, it's really crazy. I'm really bad at not settling for anything that disrupts my peace. And I really think moving back to Queenstown is going to be like I'm back in my 20s again, but I have money. And if I could tell you like a million stories about when I lived in Queenstown, when I worked for Vodafone, we were on a monthly salary. So once a month, I think it was the 15th of the month, we got our salary. And when I tell you, when that payday came rolling around, it was amazing. But when you live in a flat with like 5 other people that didn't pay rent and you were constantly chasing people, it's just like I never had any money. Like, I literally was always topping up power bills, topping up people's paying rent. You know, it's just, ugh. So I really think that, like, now that I'm going to be a different age and living back where I know, and God have mercy, it's not like Sex in the City, but I have history in Queenstown and past jobs where I know people. So it's just like this epic connection for me. And being away for 12 years between Australia and Cromwell and then back in my old stomping ground makes me so happy. It's actually not about the age. I just decided I'm done with what I have been doing lately and I need to go where it actually makes me happy. So it honestly couldn't come at a better time. And I do laugh because it's like everything happens for a reason. But it's like all of a sudden I'm just going to end up back like living in this brand new house in Queenstown with family. And I don't know, did I ever see myself staying in Cromwell? Maybe not, but the hindsight of everything is like, the only thing that I could really take away from my time in Cromwell was how fun it was, like learning about wine and getting around the wineries and the people that I met along the way. And some are still really close. And honestly, some of them have really like come through recently. Like with everything that's happened, some of the messages I've been receiving is just like, you know, you might see them like once a year. You may not even see them there. And all of a sudden they care. And we were talking, me and one of the girls I haven't seen her for years. And she was just like, there was something I posted on my social media, and it was something to do with like if you go to a friend's house and you need to fart and you try and like cover up the smell with like an Amber Pure can in the bathroom. And she was like, oh my God, there's been so many times where accidents have happened. And she made this like really funny joke. And I was thinking, oh my God, every time I like have seen this chick, she's so like straight. There's no humor. She's just very like serious. And I said to her, oh, look, I'd elaborate on a story, but I'm pretty sure it's going to hit differently than, you know, like my humor's a little bit different from yours. And she's like, we're all friends here. Like, you're in a safe space. You can tell me what you want. And so I told her the story about how I went to my boss's house for pre-drinks back when I worked for Vodafone. And I think we were eating like a cheese board and there was something on it, like, can't even remember, but I really reacted to it. I went to the bathroom and let's just say didn't go well. And anyway, his really expensive managerial type celery fragrance was on the shelf. And I just thought, I'm going to spray some. It was one of the most beautiful scents, but one of those ones that's obviously very concentrated, and it stuck and lingered. And he was like, oh my God, have you shat? I was like, oh my God, what the hell was on that cheese board? Anyway, he still brings it up now, and it's been like, 12, 15 years since. But I told her the story and she was like, you're a funny fucker, Danny, like, honestly. And I thought, I really didn't think you'd find that story funny. I really thought that you're quite a straight head on your shoulders kind of person. And she was like, nah, it's all good. I really enjoyed that. You made me laugh. And so, yeah, there's been some weird conversations lately. And I just look back at, the friendships I made in Cromwell and stuff. But in hindsight, I'm just not one of those girls that like waits until Friday to hear if someone's going to the local. Like, it's the weirdest township. I really want to talk to the rock radio station and be like, I don't know if you guys are aware of the small town stuff, but like, I just can't work it out. I've never lived somewhere like this where people tend to not drink Monday to Thursday. And do you know what's even worse is that sometimes they don't even talk Monday, Tuesday because they're in this like anxiety phase where it's like, the weekend's caught up with them. And I've just never been like that. Like, you message me, I'll message you back. We'll bloody have a chat, whatever. I'm always there for anything. I'll turn up on a Monday and have a bloody wine. But some of these people in this town, I'll tell you, that's not what happens. So, yeah, I am very excited to have some normality in my life. Maybe it's just the people that I was hanging out with. I don't know. I can't work it out. It seems to be like this all the bloody time. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. Like, I swear to God, this podcast just brings out the most absurd stories. And I'm not going to look back at this episode and be like, why did you say that, Danny? But honestly. So anyway, if it's one thing that I've learned in this past week is that life has a fucking funny way of rewarding Eddie to have a curiosity. You go to Bunnings for packing bags, leave with gardening bloody bags. You have one random beer and you end up swapping travel tips with someone you probably never forget, which I will never forget her and her story. That was insane. You have a weird dream about China and suddenly you're pricing flights and setting alerts. You pack a wardrobe and somehow you end up with a new creative hobby. And I mean, I'm excited to upcycle this denim jacket. I'm adamant and dead set I will not be buying the $50 jacket. I'm going to change the one I own. It's fine. And thanks to ChatGPT, a tape measure borrowed from my brother's tool belt, I even secured the future of my underwear. So I am a happy girl. It's been a good week. None of this was planned, and maybe that's actually the point. This week, I'm just going to keep following the little breadcrumbs that make me excited. Maybe they turn into nothing, or maybe they turn into the next great story to share next Tuesday. I don't know, but I feel like all of us as listeners will find out together. So please don't be too upset with what happened to me earlier on last week. I am fine. Those messages from that person mean nothing to me, just like they mean nothing to me. It hurt at the time, but I'm okay, because at the end of the day, if friendship can be as surface level as that, it's easy. It's easy to move on, because obviously I thought that my friendship with them meant more than theirs to me. So until next week, you guys stay curious, stay warm, say yes to weird conversations, and if all else fails, apparently a garden tidy set can solve more problems than you bloody well think. Thanks for the advice, Bunnings. Anyway, catch you up. Take care. See you next week. Bye.